Solar system is a cheap source of electrical energy. That's what they will always tell you. Let the sun pay your bills. That's the popular advertisement from most solar companies. Using solar energy or solar system in your homes help you save costs and maximize profits even in businesses. Well, that's not far from the truth. The thing is that we've always seen solar systems as a cheap alternative or cheaper alternative to electrical power supply. Cheap in the sense that though it's expensive to install, it's cheaper to run or maintain on the long run. And we generally presume that it will pay on the long run. Indeed, it will pay in the long run. But the truth is that it's not always going to be true. In today's video, we'll be talking on why solar system is the best choice over other sources of electrical energy generation like the gasoline systems, what makes them a cheap source of electrical energy, and what can make them more expensive than expected. Please, if you are new here and you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share and like the videos, and also make use of the comment section below. Tell us your questions and suggestions and we'll attend to them. Back to the business of the day. The reason why solar energy is cheap is because it pays in the long run. Yes, like it costs much to install, but then in the long run it's paid. That's just the basic fact or the basic reason why it is cheaper. Other benefit includes being free from noise, no carbon emissions, and then the cost of maintenance is cheap, all in the long run. So the cost of installation largely depends on the amount of load you want to run with the system. So the more the load you want to power, the more the appliances or the housing you want to power, the loads on the housing you want to power, the more the cost. So the less the loads you have to supply, the less the cost. So that's actually load is actually the factor that determines how expensive solar system will cost you, because they're actually basically two things to consider when installing solar. Is the load, that's the amount of load you have to power, and then how long you have to power it. So these are actually the two factors that determines how much the cost of installation can be. And then popularly there are four basic goals of installations. That's popular goals of installations, and one of them include installing solar as the only source of power supply, installing solar as an alternative power supply, installing solar to eliminate the use of gasoline generators. Then the last one is installing solar to power part of the load in your house. I'll just explain all one after the other. The first one, which is installing solar as the only source of electrical power supply, is that you don't have any business with the national grid supply or national electricity supply. You are only dependent on the solar system, and this type of installation actually costs very high, so it largely depends on the amount of load and how long you intend to power it. So if it's kind of a building or an organization or a home that you want power to be 24/7, depending on the amount of load you have in the house, so it actually costs like as high as in millions, but then in the long run it pays off. And then it's actually more beneficial to a large scale of in terms of an organization or business, whereby you have businesses that runs on power supplies, and then the cost of installation will be high at first, but then on the long run the expenses that business would make in order to keep that power running will actually be saved. So that's the first one. The second one, which is as an alternative to national supply, is that though you have the power supply, but in this part of the world, or maybe in any other part of the world, like I'm using Nigeria as this part of the world, that we don't have, or we are not guaranteed of a constant power supply. So it actually a good plan to have a backup, like an alternative source actually that can always be available when this one. So in this case now, you are installing it to be an equivalent of whatever you're getting from the national supply, so that whenever this one is not available, this other one will always be there to run. So this second installation is actually it's also good for homes that wants to run on constant 24-hour light, or companies that runs on 24-hour lights based on the systems or the way their system operates, and even in homes or businesses whereby you want things to be running like that. So it's actually where this kind of cost comes in. And then the installation is as well as high as the first one, which runs totally independent of national power supply. Then the second one is to completely eliminate the use of gasoline generators. In this case now, this will largely help when you want to cut down the noise pollution from the generators, and then the use of gasoline, because it's actually very expensive to spend daily, weekly or monthly on buying fuels or petrol for your generator. Then installing solar as an alternative source, even when you're using other sources like NEPA supply, it's a very good way to save costs. Yes, so because when you install this solar and then you eliminate the use of generators, and then solar system can be in such a way that you, even when during low sun hours or low sun seasons, you can use that's the national power to charge your solar systems, in addition to the charge that comes from the panels. So it's actually very beneficial. And then the cost of this installation is actually reasonable. Yes, depending on the size. Actually, everything largely depends on the size of the load you want to power and then how long you can power it. So in this other case, I can choose that, okay, since I am installing this to eliminate the use of a gasoline generator, so you can design, or it can be in such a way that it lasts as long as the gasoline generator lasts. That's in that case now, some powers or some appliances need to be put off in the daytime so that they will constantly run for a certain number of time or a certain period of time during the night. Then the last one is running solar system as to power part of the loads in the house. So in this case now, there are appliances that you might want to cut down the cost of electrical supplies on that. So you might just decide, okay, this part of the load should be handled regularly by electricity, national electricity supply, and then this part be handled by solar systems. And then in two ways now, this can be of help. If you want to save costs like this, to save the cost of electrical bills in some appliances, it can be working that way, that yes, part of the load to be connected to this. Then it also depends on the particular size of load you want to be connected to this solar system. Then the second one now is that there are appliances in your house that you might want them to run always on light, and then there are some that can actually be on standby most of the time. So in order to make this one, because NEPA light can always be available at all time, but then you need these things to always be running, or you just want them to be available at any time. Let's say homes that you cook food and put in the fridge, you want the light to always be on. So you can design a system that can accommodate the part of the load, while others can be on standby patterning anytime that there is a power supply. So these are the four popular goals of installation that people tend to achieve when they install solar. Now, let's talk about the problems of solar installation that can make them very expensive, even in the long run. Yes, it is promised that solar systems do expensive at first in installations. It pays in the long run. But there are instances, there have been and occurred instances whereby this solar system installation, even in the long run, cost higher than expected. So some of these reasons, or some of the reasons, or likely reasons why this can actually happen is this. The first one is an unprofessional installation. Yes, though there is it's generally known that the appliances of or needed in installing our solar systems are panels and inverters, battery, charge controller, and all of that. Well, it actually looks easy that one would think that by knowing these things, you can actually connect them together to get what you want. In fact, these things have been happening. Yes, a lot of it I've personally seen where installations are done unprofessionally, and the result of it is what you can never imagine. Yes, though sometimes it can be assumed to be right. Yes, especially for smaller installations whereby you can just do something unprofessionally because of the basic knowledge people might have, then it works. That does not undermine the fact that a lot has been happening. Damages have been done due to an unprofessional installation. Yes, so it's very advisable that when installing solar system, or when you choose to make do of solar system, you seek professional advice. Yes, very important. It looks easy, it looks simple, but there are professional analysis that are done prior to installations, because solar systems are very sensitive electrical system that, if not done correctly or if not well analyzed before installation, can cause a lot of damages in terms of losing of the materials. These appliances, you can damage them, risking lives and properties. Yes, because a wrong analysis or a mistake made in installation can cause damages to the whole house. I mean, the whole house can burn down because of a wrong assumption or a wrong calculation made during the installation. So very important, make sure you seek professional advice. Make sure you hire professionals when dealing with solar system. It's a highly sensitive system that needs proper attention, proper analysis, and then every factors be put in place before installation should go on. So at the end of this video, I'm going to be dropping an information about how to get a professional to run your solar systems for you. The second one is using incompatible products. Yes, this is very important, and this still goes back to seeking professional advice when I'm using this. So the reason why this is a problem, because yes, so many people might have basic knowledge on solar installations. Yes, you know the right thing to use, you know the right rating to use, you know the basic calculations that are needed in solar installation. Yes, but then it's very important that you follow strictly the analysis of this product, because yes, there are sometimes, or in a particular installation, that this size of battery, though it's rated that it can actually work with this, but then the design might be different. So there are actually products in terms of, let's say, panels to charge controller to battery, and battery to inverters. There are some of these components that work best with certain rates or certain specifications now. So when they are installed or when they are not compatible, it's actually a disadvantage, because in the long run, you see that one is either underperforming or overperforming, causing problem in the other. So it's very important or essential that you seek professional advice or you seek professionals for installations, and you as a professional ensure that you update your knowledge. The last one is under designing or over designing. Well, this actually not looking like a big deal, like a big problem when you over design. It's not even looking like a problem, but then I'll state my reason why it's actually a problem. When you under design, it means that what you design, for instance, you install a solar system for a home that uses power up to let's say 10 hours, and then based on the size of installation, it can only last for 5 hours. And in that case, now it will cost you in terms of if it is an installation or if it is a system that still need other sources of power to run. Let's say when the solar is down, you need to use generator or any other source to continue running of power supplies. It will actually cost in the long run because you've under designed, and instead of saving, though it will still save part of the cost, but then those small costs in continuing when the power failed due to under designed installations, it will actually cost in the long run. And then the problem of over designing is that you spend much on what should be spent less. Let's say, for instance, you have a system that should possibly work on let's say 10 kilowatts hour system that should possibly run for 12 hours based on the use of the system on ground. Then you install a 20 kilowatt hour system, which power generated is way more than what is utilized. Though it's still good, but on the long run, it will take a longer time to recover because what it's left out unused is way more than what should be used. So though the advantage of this one might be that in the long run, loads might be added to the system, yes, but then when you seek professional installations, all these things can be considered appropriately, and then the proper installation, the proper guide on how to install this thing will be put in place. Yes, because there is a way you can install a system that even when you need to add a load, yes, the system, either in terms of adding battery or adding any other component, can be added without interrupting the setup of the system. So under designing or over designing can actually be a problem, and it can actually cost you in the long run. I promise that at the end of this video, I'm going to drop information about how to reach a professional installer to handle your solar project. Well, on this case, I am recommending an electrical company called Univolt. Univolt is a tested and trusted electrical company that deals with power and security systems. That's electrical power and security systems. So anything from solar installations, power management and maintenance, and also in security system installations and management as well. So reach out to Univolt, and you surely will not be disappointed. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with us till the end of this video. Please, if this video has been of help to you, consider subscribing. Don't forget to like and share to encourage us create more amazing and value packed contents like this. Thank you.